Good morning, and hope you're having a good day so far. And appreciate you taking time to study here this morning. And so, if you will, get a Bible and turn with me back to the 40th Psalm. We'll be picking up there. And again, David, to put it in normal hour terms, David is teaching us what to do when you feel like you're stuck, when you feel like you're in a pit, when you're in a hole. Um, it's not biblical, but somebody said when you find yourself in a hole, quit digging. That's a good piece of advice. And so David has kind of we're kind of going to notice we're going back and forth here in this psalm. David began in the first section crying out, excuse me, praying to God for deliverance, for help, for forgiveness. And then in the next section that we looked at yesterday, beginning in verse 6, David begins a section where he kind of looks to the future and begins to commit to serving the Lord and to following Him, to being dedicated to Him, and kind of mixed in some praise as well for who God is and for His nature. And now, as we pick up in verse 11, David is going to kind of go back to the future again and discuss some really not so much his future, I guess, but really his present. He comes back to focusing on his current situation and problem. And again, we're not sure what that problem is, what's going on, whether it's enemies, whether it's physical. We don't know, again, really what it was. Maybe, again, it was his son. Maybe it was Saul. We're not sure. But it is, again, if you read this psalm, it's obviously very serious. David, I think, feels like his life is on the line. And as you, in particular, I think these verses we're going to look at today, if you look at verse 12, jumping ahead a little bit, he says, innumerable evils have compassed me about. My iniquities have taken hold on me. And so David is saying that his problem is basically got him surrounded, that he doesn't know really which way to go. He didn't know what to do because he is again in such a predicament. Some take and as well apply this psalm as a prophetic psalm that this describes Jesus' condition in as the world. As they began to gather against him just before his crucifixion. And so let's pick up here in verse 11. David says, withhold not thou thy tender mercies from me, O Lord. Let thy loving kindness and thy truth continually preserve me. And so again, he comes back to his current situation and problem and is praying for God to preserve him. Again, that's pretty straightforward. And he talks about the loving kindness and truth of God. So let's actually, there's three things I want you to look at. He says, "Withhold not thy tender mercies," and that tender mercy simply means compassion. And so David is asking God to be compassionate on him. Mercy, compassionate mercy. Don't judge. Mercy give you something I've said before. Some of you may have heard it, and I don't know who to give credit for this, but grace is receiving from God what we don't deserve. Mercy is not receiving what we do deserve. And so David is praying for compassionate mercy, that God wouldn't, again, give him what he deserves because of his actions, and then his his loving kindness and truth, that the characteristic, the nature of God, David cries out for, and so he's asking God for protection, deliverance, mercy in his situation. For innumerable evils have compassed me about; mine iniquities have taken hold upon me, so that I'm not able to look up. They are more than the hairs of my head; therefore my heart faileth me. That's a pretty desperate situation that David describes when he says, "I have, I have more. My iniquities have taken a hold of me, and they're more than the hair of my head." And so David is, again, he's crying out here, asking the Lord to forgive him, to protect him, because of his, and he acknowledges here, I'm in this mess because of mine iniquities. And when he says they're more than the hairs of my head here, he's talking still about his iniquities. He's saying my sin outnumbers the number of hairs on my head. And so David is confessing here to being an extremely sinful person to the point, and he's saying that the burden of his sin, the guilt of his sin, is overwhelming. When he says, "My heart faileth me," it's overwhelming. And so we go back to that first statement. He is in need of the mercy of God. Be pleased, O Lord, to deliver me, O Lord. Make haste to help me. And so again, in a different manner, he asked God for help, and he asked him for help in a hurry. Make haste. He says, "Come and deliver me." He's begging God to protect him, to deliver him from his enemies. "Let them be ashamed and confounded together that seek after my soul to destroy it. Let them be driven backward and put to shame that wish me evil." And so David is asking what he's saying there. Understand that driven back and put to shame statement. What David is saying is, Lord, confuse them. Let the plans they have against me, let those get jumbled up. Let them come against them. Let them be driven backwards and put to shame. He says basically what David says is let what they have planned to me happen to them. And so that was his prayer for those who are attacking. Let them be desolate for a reward of their shame that say unto me, "Aha, aha." David says, those that are those that are laughing and ridiculing me, let them let them let it turn around and be them. What they wish on me, forgive me. I think about the thing I hear young kids say, "I'm rubber, you're glue. What you say about me bounces off of me and sticks to you." That's, I'm sorry, but that's what pops into my head. And David is, that's basically what David is praying, that what they wish to happen to me, Lord, let it, instead happen to them. Let them reap what they are trying to sow against me. And he prays in verse 16, he says, "Let all that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee. Let such as love thy salvation say continually, the Lord be magnified." And so David's prayer is not just that God would deliver him, but that in delivering him, that the people would see that God takes care of His own, and that the people, that the nation of Israel would be blessed. In effect, if you come against the king, you're attacking the whole nation. The same as if someone were to make some foreign country were to make some attempt on our president's life, we would see that as an attack against our country. And so David is saying, bless the country. Those that are trying to destroy me are ultimately attacking Israel, and let everybody see, those that love you, let them see that you are protecting me, and you are still in control. But I am poor and needy, yet the Lord thinketh upon me. Thou art my help and my deliverer. Make no tarrying, O my God. And so David is here in this final verse. He's praising God because God continually, think about it, he says, I'm poor and needy. So he describes his condition. I'm poor and needy, yet the Lord thinketh upon me. And so he says, even though I am, bottom layer, I'm nothing. I am in the thoughts of God Himself, and He is my help and my deliverer. So the word there that His word is that he's just praising God in this final verse for what he's doing, and so this is a good verse. Maybe I don't know how you do with memorization, but this is a great verse. Maybe at least remember part of it. That I'm poor and needy, yet the Lord thinketh upon me. If you can memorize the whole thing, Thou art my help and my deliverer. Make no tarrying, oh my God. What a great promise to us today, that you are not beneath the care and the compassion. You are never out as a child of God. You are never out of the sight, the thoughts of God. We're to again, cheesy illustrations today. We're always on His mind, as the song says. He always has a plan for our life. He always desires the best for our life. And so this morning, I hope those words will cause you to be lifted up and encouraged to know that you are not so poor and needy. You are not so, you're never beyond the thoughts and the compassion, the concern of our God. And because of that, we can always go to Him in prayer. We can always, not just the big things, but the small things. We can confess our sins to Him because, as David said in our first verse this morning, He's merciful. He is, again, look at some of the verses here, verse 17. He's a helper. He's a deliverer. And so this psalm just serves, I think, as a great reminder to us that no matter where we find ourselves, if we find ourselves stuck, if we find ourselves in the miry clay, that God still cares, and God still is concerned about us, and God still hears our prayers, even from the pit. And so, however you're feeling today, I don't know who all is watching, but maybe today you're feeling a little bit like you're in a pit, you're stuck, you're in the miry clay, as David describes it. You call out to God. You are ever in His thoughts. You're never beyond, you're never too poor and needy to be beyond the care and the compassion of our God. All right, you have a good day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow, and we'll start out in the 41st Psalm.